Welcome back to the garage. I'm Rich. So today what we've got on the bench is we've got some CB600 Hornet carbs. We're going to take apart, ultrasonically clean, bench sync and put back together. So I'll show what we're working with. Okay, so this is what we're working with. We've got the Hornet carbs here. So they are kind carbs. I tend to favour these ones. So yeah, so they came off from a 2000 model. And what we're going to do is we're going to strip them, clean them, and put them back together again. Okay, let's get stuck in. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take off the float balls, and we're going to remove all the jets, the emulsion tubes, etc. from inside. And what I've already had to do, you can see here that these are domed cap nuts. I had to drill out every single one of these on here. These are the originals. Okay, so these carbs have not been gone through since the bike was built, so these were pretty badly seized. So anyway, so we had to drill all those out. So they were junk, so I'm going to replace with these stainless steel cap heads. So float ball for number 2. I mean, you can see it's fairly clean inside. And this is what we've got to work with here. So we've got main jet inside the emulsion tube. We've got the slow jet just here, and we've got the float with its needle valve just underneath. And then here we have the fuel mixture screw. Okay, so slow jet first. So there we go, slow jet out. Some markings on there, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, it says 40. Now the main jet, so you'll need to hold the emulsion tube still whilst you do it. Main jet. Can't make out the numbers on there, but I'll check those in the Haynes manual. And then we want the emulsion tube, so that's on a 7mm. And the last part that we want out from here just now is we want the float pin. So just a little pick. Push that in, the float pin. What we have to take note of here is the way that the float needle sits inside the float. So there's a little grooved section there. You see it slides in and out. Okay. And then the fuel mixture screw. And you can see already that that's disintegrating now. You can make it out in the light, but it's falling apart, so we will need to replace that at least. Let's see if we can get it out. Gone. Okay, so I'll tackle that later. So Rinse and repeat on numbers 3 and numbers 4. So, managed to get one of them out at least. So this is the fuel mixture screw. So what's breaking off, the little brass bits here. It's just gummed up with years of gunk. Now, this is the important part on the end. So you've got that very fine needle tip to it. Inside here as well, we've got a spring, a steel washer and a O-ring, which I'll show you in a minute. But that's the bit that you need to be extremely careful of. So when you set these up, you'll screw these in really gently until it just seats, then you back it off to the stock settings. Okay, so these are how they're set up. So you've got the fuel mixture screw, this needle, then you have steel washer followed by rubber O-ring. Okay, and that's how it goes into the car body. Okay, so we've got 4 of those, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've managed to get number 1 and number 4 out, but numbers 2 and 3 are rotten. So we're going to have to drill these out. Okay, so I'm moving down the line here. So difficult in this light, but these are the top caps for the diaphragms, the Venturas. So these kind carbs work on a vacuum, so the slides rise and fall based on engine vacuum. On earlier models, CB650s, 550s, 500s, 4s, 404s, they were all mechanical. So the slides lifted when you twisted the throttle grip. So these are more similar to Mikuni carbs that you find on Suzuki or Yamaha that are vacuum. Now, the screws and the fittings on here, whilst you probably won't be able to see, they are rusted, rotten and gummed up and furred up years on British roads in the wintertime. But what's important is here, and I'm showing you the screwdriver on purpose, is this is a JIS, Japanese Industrial Standard screwdriver. You must use the JIS screwdriver on Japanese fixings. They're not Phillips. If you use a Phillips in here, you're more likely to strip them. So, and we have to be careful as well because the top cap is under spring pressure. So as you undo, keep tension on the cap so that it doesn't spring off. Now again, I will be replacing these for Allen head caps, stainless steel. Hopefully we'll get a bit more life out of them. So you've got three caps, and then this will lift off, and you'll see here as we go. So that's the underside of the cap, and we have the spring which fits inside that hole there. There's that, and then underneath here we have, start it into the light so we can see, that's better. So underneath here we have the diaphragm. Okay, now you have to check these really carefully for holes and tears, and be very careful when you take them out. Okay, so they're kind of pressed into the rim of the car body there, and this bit's important too. It just comes up the top. So try and use your fingers only, not anything sharp like a screwdriver or a pick. Okay, and at it pops. So this is the diaphragm itself. Okay. So the slide itself is made from plastic on these models, and you have the needle there. And as I say, the rubber diaphragm around the edge. So visual inspection, checking for holes, etc. Okay, so that's that for now. Rinse and repeat on the others. Okay, so next up we've got, so on these carbs we've got detachable venturas. So we've got this very delicate aluminium part here, which slots inside, and then we've got a collar which goes over the top. Underneath there, there's an O-ring as well. So 4 screws holding that in place. And this should just lift out. Okay, so take out, we've got these locating parts here. It's going to come away with the O-ring as well. Okay, so that's where the O-ring sits. It's got these locating tabs. So that's that. And then the actual venturi and collar has to be installed together when it goes back together. But on the flip side, again, you can see that these are locating, and these locating tabs here, they correspond with the locating points on the carb body. For cleaning purposes, we can wiggle that out. There we go. So again, rinse and repeat on 3 and 4. Okay, so next step for me in this process is going to be removing the choke mechanism. So you've got this bar here, which is actuated by a lever on the bike, and it pulls out the plungers 1, 2, 3 and 4 on each carb. Okay, so first of all we're going to remove the bracket, and that is held, if you can see here on the system, it's just secured by these 2 screws here. Again, JIS fit-ins. This will lift off. Now what we need to take note of here, as it comes off, you'll see there's a spring. So the spring is located here on this tab. And on the other side to the carb body there. Okay, so we can see the spring here, so I don't think you can make out, but just on the edge here, this grimy part of the carb body, that's where that part of the spring locates to. Just there. Then you spin it under tension and it attaches to the bracket. And now we're going to go down the line, so this is number 1, 2, 3 and so on, and we're going to remove the choke plunger. So it's on a 10mm, so again be careful of this because it's under spring tension. So you've got the cap with the washer on top, so rubber grommet, sorry. Then we've got a spring. So it's a spring and the choke plunger itself. Again here on number 2. So 10 mil. So you remember it's under spring tension. So we've got the retaining bolt, the rubber grommet on top, spring, and the choke plunger itself. In the Haynes manual, it doesn't advise breaking the bank, and it doesn't actually offer too much information on how to do that. So what we have is we've got this part here. So these are 2 8mm bolts. So as far as I can make out, we're going to remove that, and then there's a companion one on the top side here, which is a 10mm bolt. So according to the information, we remove those, extract the rods, and then the bank should break. So bear with me. Okay, so first side, so 8mm on this side. So like that. Same on the other side. Okay, so that's what I've just extracted. Man, you can see it's furred up and nasty there. That just might be some bulb lubrication to get it in. So anyway, so that's the bottom one. The top one's a 10mm. Okay, so here we go. So again the same. So this only white powder, which could be corrosion, or it could be lubrication, who knows. So anyway, so that's the top one, that's the bottom one. Top one 10mm, bottom one 8mm. Just for reference, both of those are under torque. So the torque settings are in the Haynes manual. We'll consider that when we put them back together. So the banks apart, I'm not going to lie, that was in no way an easy task. So basically what ended up happening is that I divided 1 and 2, 3 and 4, so I divided them into pairs, and then I had to work on them. Basically where those rods that we took out that looked a little corroded, there's these posts, these dowels which fit inside these holes, and they're similar on the top here. So the top ones were a little bit easy to get out. These bottom ones were not. So what I did, as I didn't film any of it, but what I did is I took a punch and I placed it here, and I tap 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 very gently until they started to come. Squirted a load of penetrating oil in, and yeah, it's taken about half an hour to split the bank. But anyway, the bank is split. Okay, so the last thing to strip off these before they go into the ultrasonic bath is going to be the air shut-off valves here. Okay, on all for. Not anticipating that will be an easy job either. But anyway, let's crack on. So it's just held on by one screw. So this is carb number 2, this one that I'm on now. So it's held by one screw, and then underneath here there's a very small brass locating dowel with 2 very tiny O-rings on, which I'll show you too. So these are very, very tight. So there's the specialized screw. So I think the washer's joined with it. Anyway, we'll remember that. So there it is. So there's the valve itself, and it's connected by this hose here, which we will replace because the rubber is very brittle. Right, there we go. That's the valve itself. It's kind of a sealed unit, don't want to disturb it, just give it a quick clean. That's for number 2. Now the parts of number 2, we've got the springs, we've got more dowels, we've got this big old thing, and then in here for the air shutoff valve that we've just taken out, as you can make out there, we have a very small brass piece. I'm assuming it's some form of jet. It's got a hole going all the way through it. I don't know for sure, I'll have to read the book. So there we go. Carb number 2, all taken apart. So there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. Carburettor's dismantled, brand broken, ready to clean. So next task, I'm going to drop all these into the ultrasonic cleaner one by one, clean all the parts just for carb 1, just for carb 2, etc., so I don't lose anything or mess anything up. Once I've done that, I'll bring you back for the rebuild. So thanks for watching. If you found that useful or informative, please give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, or consider subscribing, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.